Good afternoon. How's everybody doing today? Good, good. My name is Jeremy Sharp. I'm the president of Students for Sensible Drug Policy. Today we're going to do a synopsis on overdose prevention. We're having an endemic here in Georgia where our kids are dying from drug overdoses. In Hall County in 2010 we had 24 overdose deaths, which to me is atrocious. I'd like to go through a little bit about what our club is about and what we do. Essentially, we are a harm reduction group, which means we go against the harms that are caused by the drug war in any which way possible. Some of us have a more progressive view to the types of things that we should do, but basically we do a lot of outreach work through overdose prevention and various other things. I also work as the regional outreach coordinator for the Amplify project. I'm in charge of all the southeastern music production that goes on. Basically, if anybody's interested, you can go to that table, put your email address down. If you're interested in going to band shows like Slightly Stupid, Bass Nectar, and a bunch of other artists that are in our area, I can get you in for free. All right. I do.
Come on, people talk about it. We're all talking in here because it's trying to help people in your age range. You gotta focus on what's going on around you, because if you're all fixed on yourselves, you're not gonna worry about the world. Nothing good's gonna happen.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so basically we're out there, we're in the trenches, we're at raves, we're at bars, we're at clubs, we're out there trying to get practical information about this drug war and how it affects us negatively. Some people may not agree with what we're doing, but we're going to do it anyways. I'd like to thank Severin Mangold and Erica Durand, and also my friend Nick Mitchell. They've helped us with the PowerPoint that we're doing today. Basically, I'm going to go through a rundown on what an overdose is and how to prevent the overdoses. Overdose deaths now outnumber auto accidents as the leading cause of accidental deaths for Americans. In 2010, we had over 38,000 deaths attributed to drug overdoses. To me, that's atrocious. Opioid overdoses account for about 85% of these overdoses. That includes heroin, Oxycontin, Loratab, all those types of opiate analogs. Also, in the last 10 years, we've had 125,000 deaths in the United States attributed to drug overdoses. It's phenomenal. Right now, we had in 2010, we had 152 counties that had overdose deaths. The largest demographic is between 18 to 29, and there's a sub-demographic in there too, the ages of 20 to 25, in which drug overdose deaths take up the largest part. Generally, it's white, upper middle class males who are working that are dying from this. Also, all these deaths, you know, what got me involved in this is I've had 4 friends pass away from drug overdoses since I graduated from high school. A lot of times these people were at a party or a house and individuals were there who didn't call 911, and it resulted in the death of my friends. So that's what got me involved in it. Here's some trends. As you can see, we've included some trends about women and prescription drug abuse, and hospital visits. Also, we have a line chart of the overdose deaths in our society in America. Basically, I'm going to tell you what an overdose is. An overdose is having too much of a drug, or a combination of drugs, for which your body cannot cope. It is possible to have too much of a drug, any drug. The signs of an OD can look different in many different situations. Be careful with prescription and over-the-counter drugs. You can OD on these as well. Drugs like Oxycontin, benzodiazepines, oxycodone, are depressant drugs. Taking too many of these can cause low breath, even stop breathing altogether, and can lead us to a point where brain injury happens. Basically, your body doesn't get enough oxygen, and if paramedics and stuff don't get there in time, a lot of times we can save individuals' lives, but they are completely brain dead. Taking more than one drug is also extremely risky. So if you're taking Oxycontin and Xanax and drinking, just be careful, because that combination of drugs, or any drugs altogether, can be extremely fatal. We've all heard about Elvis Presley, who died from taking uppers and downers at the same time. It happens a lot. A lot of celebrities have recently passed away. Seymour Hoffman died of a heroin overdose just a few weeks ago. Most heroin overdoses and morphine overdoses are attributed to mixing with other drugs, mainly depressants. Generally, the individual has no idea what's going on. They start nodding out, and then they go into an overdose, stop breathing, they choke on their vomit, and such types of things. Alright guys, this is half-life. Half-life is the time that it takes for a drug to drop out of the strength of the original dose. Some drugs have a half-life of up to 48 hours, so be careful. So if you do consume drugs, you know somebody that does consume drugs, just remember that sometimes the half-life of these drugs is a long period of time. You have a lot of these drugs filled up in your system, and then you overdose. Benzodiazepines like Xanax, Klonopins, those types of things have a very, very long half-life. I believe Xanax alprazolam has a half-life of 36 hours, which is pretty phenomenal. How to avoid an overdose. With prescription medications, read the label carefully and speak to your pharmacist to make sure you have the right dose. Think about your tolerance. If you haven't used before, test a small amount. What other drugs have you been taking? Remember, half-life. Try not to use alone. But if you do, phone a friend before you use. Tell them where you are and how to get in touch with you. Think about where you use. If you're in a room by yourself where no one's going to find you, chances are that's where a lot of people are getting found, in their bedrooms and closets, and those types of things where people don't know where they're at. Whether it's in a city or a rave, go to your car, you know, just let people know where you're at and what you're doing. Alright guys, this is how to recognize signs of an opiate overdose. You have shallow breathing, or not breathing at all. You have blue fingertips. Generally you can pinch an individual's fingers, and from there, how long it takes the blood to get back, you can generally see how much oxygen is in the blood by using those simple techniques, by pinching your fingers and seeing how long it takes for the blood to reach. Not all ODs happen quickly, and it takes hours for someone to die. If you can't get a response from someone, don't assume they're asleep, and don't let them sleep at all. That's how a couple of my friends have died. They decided to let them sit there and sleep it off, and the next morning they found them and they were blue. They had died. Tolerance. We've all been taught about tolerance. So generally when you consume more of a drug, your body builds up a tolerance to these drugs, whether it's marijuana, cocaine, amphetamines. Remember tolerance, because a lot of people will stop using and then go back to using, and then they try to take their original dose. That's when they overdose. We see a lot of overdose happening in our prison population. They're returning from prisons and going right back to using. Sometimes the heroin is pure, and it sends them into instant overdose. What to do when you see a drug overdose. So if you're at a party, a rave, a bar, anywhere that people are using drugs, whether you don't use it, you need to know what an overdose looks like. If you see them and you can't cannot get a response, a common technique that people use is to rub their knuckles against their chest, and if they don't wake up, immediately call 911. If they're not responsive, if you're throwing water on them, if you're trying to do all these things and they're not responsive, please call 911. Another thing is to put them in a recovery position. While you're waiting on paramedics, lay them on their side with their hands out so that you're not choke on their vomit. That's a common cause of death and asphyxiation is by people choking on their own vomit. Learn first aid, CPR, all those techniques, they can save lives. Our school offers first aid. A lot of various programs offer free first aid programs. First aid is really beneficial whether you're a lifeguard or you're at a party and you see someone dying, or if you see somebody in a car wreck. It's important for us to know life-saving measures like first aid. Also, right now, if you do call 911 during the advent of a drug overdose, it is illegal. We're working on some laws to help protect people like that, and I'll get that into a second. But the ambulance crews often will not call the police unless it's a bad area and they feel threatened. So keep that in mind. Naloxone. I'm going to talk a little bit about naloxone because this is actually my forte. Naloxone is an anti-opiate. It's administered through a nasal atomizer, through your nose, or through a shot in the muscles. Basically, what naloxone does, it sends the body into instant relapse. Instant withdrawal. It's very painful for the user. It's for opiates, i.e. Oxycontin, heroin, hydrocodone, those types of things. Naloxone will send the body into withdrawal within 45 minutes. But be careful if you do administer naloxone, or if you do know somebody that does or has administered naloxone, the effects and the half-life of naloxone is about an hour. So a lot of times people will overdose, administer naloxone, and go right back to using, and then overdose again, because they have those high levels of the drugs in their system. Alright, also we're going to touch a little bit on amphetamines and other stimulants. It is possible to overdose on amphetamines, i.e. crystal meth, whether it's Adderall, Ritalin, those types of things. If it's legal or illegal, it is possible to overdose on amphetamines. Some people do not believe in amphetamine overdose. I personally witnessed it. I know it's possible. Just remember that a lot of people that do take copious amount of amphetamines do have psychosis that is induced from amphetamine use. They haven't been sleeping, they haven't been eating. Just be careful if you come across somebody like that, because sometimes they can get agitated, they can get ornery, they may try to fight you, but try to do the right thing.
Hold on.
Alright guys, that concludes my PowerPoint for drug overdoses. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I do. I work as a lobbyist at the Georgia State Capitol. I work with a various plethora of harm reduction groups. Like I said, I'm the president of Students for Sensible Drug Policy. I'm also a de facto Georgia coordinator for Students for Sensible Drug Policy. We have chapters at Georgia State, Spelman, Kennesaw State, UGA, and now University of North Georgia. Basically what I do is coordinate with these people and get them information, petitions, lobbying days, and those types of things. We also work with Peachtree Normal. We work with the ACLU, we work with North Carolina Harm Reduction Coalition, we work with the Atlanta Harm Reduction Coalition, the Southern Harm Coalition, and also the Drug Policy Alliance. Basically, right now in the Georgia legislators, we have 3 bills that our organization has been working on. HB 965 is the Good Samaritan Medical Amnesty Law. And if this law is passed, what it will do is protect individuals and give them limited immunity for calling 911 and cooperating with police and sticking around for an ambulance. So So basically, the law is written. It's still getting voted on. Tomorrow it goes to the Human Health Service Committee, where I will probably be testifying and going over drug overdose statistics with them. But basically what it does is it provides immunity for individuals who have simple marijuana possessions. 1613.2 is the OCGA code. So under an ounce, simple drug felony possessions under 4 grams. So basically, if you have 4 grams of meth, cocaine, heroin, or anything like that, you call 911 and cooperate with the police, you will not get into trouble. These are life-saving measures. We have seen positive results in the 17 states that have applied Good Samaritan medical amnesty policies. In North Carolina, we've had 9 naloxone overdoses since the beginning of this year, and in Massachusetts in 2012, we've had 120 naloxone overdose reversals. Basically, what we try to do is arm our community with pertinent information like this that will help individuals. I know a lot of you may not use drugs, but maybe you do know somebody that does use drugs, and maybe some of this information can help you. The second bill that we're working on is HB 965. This is a naloxone distribution. Basically, we want to equip our first responders, i.e. Our police officers, our medical EMS providers, nurses, and people like that in the community with naloxone, because naloxone has proven time and time again to reverse opiate withdrawals, or opiate overdoses. Basically, we have another law. I don't know if anybody's interested in medical marijuana, but we are supporters of medical marijuana. We believe in safe access to medical patients. HB 885 will resurrect a standing medical marijuana bill that has been on the books since 1981. Basically, what it says is that people with cancer, glaucoma, and epilepsy will be able to get cannabinoid oil, which is CBD, an extract from the marijuana plant, and it will be given to people. We've seen great results in Colorado and Washington and Colorado with children who have epilepsy, severe forms of epilepsy like Dravet syndrome. I had a friend who moved to Colorado, who moved his daughter to Colorado. Within 4 days of giving his daughter the cannabis medicine, she went from having 50 seizures a day to not having a seizure in almost a week, which is phenomenal. A lot of us have been lied to about the facts of marijuana. If you would like to come over to our table and discuss anything about marijuana, we can provide any information. We can send you the right link. We can get you to the Peachtree Normal, the Georgia Cares, those types of people as well. I'd also like to, before I end this, talk a little bit more about the Amplify project, which I am the Southeastern Regional Coordinator for. Like I said, we have partnered artists like Bass Nectar, Slightly Stupid, Mo, Lotus, Promise, just to name a few. So basically, when these people come to the Atlanta area, we go and set up a table like that and pass out drug overdose information and stuff like that. Also, this is our first Amplify thing. I'll have my friend Benjamin Dover come up and play some acoustic for a memorial conference, or a memorial concert for some of the people that I know that have died from overdoses. With Amplify, we try to organize local artists and get them together in a concert forum so we can promote our ideas and Reddit. I'm going to conclude this. I'm taking up enough of you guys' time. Here in a couple of minutes, I will have Benjamin Dover come up here and play, but I would like to thank you all for listening, and I hope you have a good day.